Everybody, how's it going? And welcome to the Just Chatting Gaming News and Trailers for March 21st. We actually have more news than trailers, which is kind of crazy because normally it's the opposite. But let's go ahead and kick things off with the big news that dropped today. For the two people on the internet that haven't seen it, a new Witcher game has been announced. In fact, they're calling it the new Saga. And they posted this picture on the internet. I'm actually on like the Witcher website where they were talking about some of this stuff. So the big news that came out today is that they are switching this franchise from their own engine over to Unreal 5. And they're going to be working very closely with Epic on the development of this game. That, of course, brought out a lot of questions of, is this going to be like an Epic exclusive or anything? And they said, no, it is not. There's also GDC happening right now. And so basically what they did is they announced this today so that when GDC is happening this week, they can essentially use it as a recruiting form. So odds are the game has probably barely been started and you're still looking at 4, 5, 6 years before it's actually going to be out. So the general praise, so to speak, that I saw on the internet today was very positive. And honestly, I was sitting back being like, do you not remember what CDPR just did with their previous game? No one? Nobody cares? Great. I mean, they lost a lot of credibility with the Cyberpunk. And I didn't see a single person bring that up today. But I would not pre-order this game. I wouldn't buy this game until reviews come out and you actually get to see what it is that this is going to be. Because, yeah, CDPR, they lost all their credibility with the whole Cyberpunk issue, so... But yeah, for those who are fans of the Witcher series, you got a new game coming out in like 5, 6 years. And I believe it's going to be a whole new character. I don't think Geralt is the playable character anymore. Because I'm pretty sure they've said that his story is done. So there you go. Next story. And this one is maybe a bit more interesting. PlayStation has bought Haven Studios. And you might say, never heard of it. So, Haven Studios is a new studio that launched about a year ago by industry veteran Jade Raymond. And for those who don't know, Jade is one of the people responsible for the Assassin's Creed series. Worked at Ubisoft for a very, very long time. She then went, I want to say off the top of my head, she went to like another studio, maybe another couple studios, bounced around a little bit. She then ended up at Google to help with Stadia. That didn't turn out, and she's like, you know what? I'm just going to make my own studio. And that's what she did. The surprising thing to me is after everything she's been through, the fact that she would say, all right, I'm going to let PlayStation buy my new studio. That seems a little odd to me. But traditionally, PlayStation has left them alone and just said, like, here's money. We've seen that with a lot of the other PlayStation studios, similar to what Microsoft is doing. So I guess we'll see, you know, what it is that they're going to build. We do know it's going to be a multiplayer game of some description. And maybe that's one reason why PlayStation wanted it. But, yeah, just an interesting story. And I feel like it's a story that's a little bit curious just based on her past issues of jumping around studios a little bit. Next up, we have some review scores for Ghostwire Tokyo. This is a game that we've seen a bunch of trailers on. It looks very, very weird. And turns out the reviews for this game are all over the place. For the most part, it's getting like 6, 7s, 8s. And it's coming across as just like a very average game, even though technically speaking, those scores are above average. But if you actually start reading through some of the reviews or watching some video reviews, there's a lot of negative to say about the game. Like, I would almost say that there's more negative or more neutral than there are positive facts. So Yeah, some of the reviewers that I've seen the videos on, like, straight up spent half their video saying how bad the game was, and they still gave it like a 7 or an 8, which is really, really interesting. You normally don't see that. So I've seen some questions about what is going on exactly. Not a game I'm going to play. It's not on my list. Also, there's way, way too much else, like, either out or coming out, so I'll pass on that one. Next story, some of you might find interesting. So the story reads, the Mass Effect Trilogy director confirms he's working on a new sci-fi universe. They would be referring to Casey Hudson, who has a very, very good track record at BioWare. Also worked on the original KOTOR and a lot of the very successful games that BioWare made back in the day. For those who don't know, he left. He then came back as GM, and then he left again, as so many of the other BioWare veterans have done over the past about 3 years or so. But yeah, he went and also made his own studio, and they are, according to this article, now doing a new sci-fi universe. I wonder if they're going to try and reproduce what they did with Mass Effect. Like, he's like, we did Mass Effect. It was great. Let's do it again, essentially. So, kind of an interesting story on that. Next up, New World has dropped their content roadmap for the year. This is a game that I have played a bunch of. It's okay, but it needs a lot of work, and so they've actually released on YouTube like a couple like hour-long videos of them like just sitting there talking about what they want to do to the game. So it seems like they have the backing, they have the hopefully the time, money, and resources to make the game actually good, or at least better. So you can see that like the PvP arena system was something that people have been asking for, a PvP reward track. They're adding a new gun in the spring. They're adding a group finder for the expeditions. Thank you. I'm a big fan of that. In the autumn, they're adding the Great Sword, which is something that's been requested by people. More expeditions, more territory stuff, and just overall, like, a bunch of everything. And you can also see down at the bottom, quests, encounters, ongoing improvements, balance tuning, bug fixes, and more. So yeah, hopefully New World can continue to add content, improve things, and make that game better overall. This is the breaking story that just broke a couple minutes ago. And it's one of these silly things where Nintendo is always so out of touch with like everything they do. And they don't care. Nintendo just, they do what they want to do because they know their fans are okay with waiting, you know, 1,844 days after release to add something as simple as folders to the Switch. And it wasn't too long ago that they added like Bluetooth and crazy stuff like that for like headsets and all that. And it's just like, it's one of those stories where it's just like, yeah, it's Nintendo. They don't understand how things work. Whatever. Final story of the day. We actually talked about how they are making more and more video games into movies and TV shows. And we have another announcement that happened here just a few days ago where Plague's Tale is the latest one to be confirmed into a TV series. And, you know, we have Witcher out there right now, which is very successful. Apparently Amazon is looking into Mass Effect. Fallout is being done. And, like, so many others. It's going to be the new hot thing over the next 5 or so years. It's just all these video games coming to TV and doing series. But yeah, Plague's Tale is essentially a medieval story. I've seen a lot of footage from the game, and they actually have a second game coming out. I want to say it's coming out this year, potentially. But yeah, it's essentially like the two kids are like trying to run away from one medieval faction, but there's the plague of rats, or plague in general that's happening, and I'm assuming the main story there is going to be about the two kids like trying to escape the evil faction or whatever it is. So yeah, very cool. It's always going to be interesting to see what shows turn out to be, or I guess what games turn out to be good movies or shows. Because in the movie category, hasn't worked out like too great. Let's go ahead and kill the music and get into our 3 trailers. First trailer is some kind of like adventure trailer for Sea of Thieves. Let me actually back that up here for a second. So let's see. This is also presented in 4K. Let's see what they got. I still need to play this game. I own it. It's also on Game Pass, I think.
So, who are they?
I don't know.
Well, how long do we need to hold them here?
I don't know.
So, why are we holding them?
Listen, we are officers of the Spanish fleet. We do what Flameheart demands. That was the deal. You know that.
You mean the giant head in the sky?
Not anymore, he's not. And besides, you know what would happen if we were to disobey. There are many different ways to put someone in a cage. You should just keep going. Sir!
This one. Bring her.
See, I wonder, like, all the story content they're adding to this, I wonder how viable it is as, like, a single-player deal. Because I always think, like, Sea of Thieves, it's like, if you're gonna play it, you gotta do it with a, like, at least a 3-person crew, right? I don't know. Alright, next trailer is for a game that, off the top of my head, I know nothing about. It's the launch trailer for Royal Frontier? Wait, this trailer is only in 720p? What is this, 1999? So it's Heroes of Might and Magic meets Oregon Trail. I don't know. Choose your blessings. Actually, it's more like a JRPG meets Oregon Trail. It actually doesn't look that bad. It's like pretty basic. Which sometimes that's what you need. It's on every system. I wonder how much that costs.
Thousands of people.
No YouTube ad. I don't want to listen to that. Here real quick. Wait, why do I not have my Steam up? Oh boy, what have we done? Before we get into the last trailer, I'm very curious as to how much that game's going to cost. Loading up the Steam machine. Doo-doo-doo. Burm, burm, burm. All right. Oh, really? It's that cheap, huh? Comes out. Oh, wait. It is out. It's a $6 game. It's only got 5 reviews. Let's see. Looks like the reviews are 50-50, and I'm not gonna actually read them right now. Okay, final trailer of the day. You guys might actually find this one to be interesting. So, as I kill the music here, every once in a while, one of the game engine companies will release a trailer showing off, like, here's new technology that developers can now use within our engine. So this is for the Unity engine, which a ton of games use. And they're calling this the enemies like demo trailer. This is also presented in 4K. So here's some new technology that's coming to Unity. Let's take a look. It's kind of like that UE5 trailer that came out a while back. They just showed like the new stunning graphics that can be made. I think that's kind of what this is. It's like, this is how pretty your games can be now. That is very pretty. We're going to see such a leap in graphics over the next 5 years. I mean, it seems like we've been doing that for the last 20 years, but every 5 years we just have a big leap.
I have in my head everything that anyone has ever known.
Pretty good character model.
You have in your heart everything anyone has ever felt. Power is given only to those who dare to lower themselves and pick it up.
Okay. Very, very cool. What was the actually what did they show at the end there? Hold on a second. Go ahead and pause that for a second. What was I want to say we've seen this one before, but let's take a look at this one here. I think this is a very similar trailer showing off their new like model rendering.
Hi, I'm a virtual human created by Ziva Dynamics. I'm powered by state-of-the-art biomechanical simulation, and I'm running in real time in Unity. But enough about me. I have some even more amazing news to share with you today. I'm excited to announce that today, Ziva, my creators, are now part of the Unity family. Unity and Ziva have a shared vision of making realistic, lifelike character creation accessible and scalable for all artists, regardless of skill level. And it's not just for virtual humans like me, but for any kind of creature, monster, or animal imaginable, realistic or stylized. Ziva's leadership in character simulation, deformation, and machine learning, along with Unity's deep knowledge of real-time technology, makes this an effortless and powerful partnership. As we grow together, Unity and Ziva will continue serving the many innovative teams, creators, and engines that use our technology. By acquiring Ziva, Unity will further democratize Ziva's best-in-class tools to allow artists like you to create digital characters like me. We want to thank you for all of your support over the past 7 years. Ziva has learned so much, and we couldn't have done any of it without your passion and dedication to incredible digital art. It's been a whirlwind journey, but I'm certain it's just the start.
She was winking at you, chat, not me. I don't know. It's pretty crazy where we're going to this stuff. Jalen says, my next girlfriend. Well, if we get to, if anybody saw the new Blade Runner movie and you just have a female hologram like walking around your place, I'd be down for that. She can't do nothing but talk with me. I'd be okay with that. But there we go, ladies and gentlemen. For those watching on YouTube, thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.